And then when I was going for my last audition, I was driving there, I was very nervous, and I had this driver, lovely guy, but a little bit too honest. And he's sort of sitting there in the car, and he's chatting to me, and I'm a polite person, but I also want to be like, mate, please shut up, I'm trying to learn my line. And he's looking at me in the mirror, and he's doing that thing, he's like, sort of sitting there really awkward, he's looking at me, he goes, you know what, kid, I think you're going to get it. I'm like, really? Why? And I was excited to hear that. And he goes, you know what, I think you're going to get it, because the kid that I just drove there, he is so good looking. Thank you, man. That's exactly the confidence boost I need. And then I got the part. I was lucky enough. I saw him a few months later when I was shooting the film, and he goes, I told you. I was like, what did you tell me? That I was going to get the part or that I was ugly?
Despite my near vampire-like insistence on avoiding the sun, I am nevertheless a pretty dark-skinned chocolate boy. Fortunately, I like how I look. I think I'm pretty sexy, but growing up I was always cognizant of an underlying tension between black people who were light-skinned, or as we used to say, light-skinned, and dark-skinned people like me. Now sometimes this was just played for jokes and common schoolyard teasing, so it was hard to differentiate it from any other kind of mocking, because kids in middle school were fucking monsters. Your Mama So Black was a standard opener in our array of Yo Mama jokes. For example, Your Mama So Black, she went to night school and got marked absent. But something I definitely noticed as a lonely and arguably girl-obsessed dark-skinned teenager is that the lighter skin tone boys were definitely more successful romantically than I and my other dark-skinned brothers were. Maybe they were just cooler, more stylish, and more charismatic. It's definitely possible. I was a huge dork in middle and high school. But I mean, so was everybody else. Whether or not that was the issue, the fact that darker-skinned people were treated differently than lighter-skinned people became more and more evident to me as I grew up and ventured out into the world. It was uncommon, for example, to have a dark-skinned black person as your server in a restaurant or your associate in a department store. When you could find a doll or an action figure that represented a black person, they didn't usually have very dark skin, especially the ones that were targeted towards girls. It was also rare to see a dark-skinned person as the lead on a movie or a TV show.
Hi guys, and welcome to Tailored Talk. Today, I'm going to quickly talk about the actress of Francesca Amawuda Rivers and the social media hate that she's been getting online. Then I'm going to talk about the history of colourblind casting in theatre and why Francesca's casting is commonplace in the theatre world. Then I'm going to talk about the hypocrisy of black women versus conventional attractiveness. Then finally, we'll go over Jamie Lloyd, Francesca's employer, and his company's response to all the backlash that she's been getting. So, in case you've just clicked on this and you have no idea what this is about, I'm going to give you a quick summary of the situation and what's been happening and why this is making national news. Actor Tom Holland, famous for Uncharted, The Crowded Room, and obviously Spider-Man, he signed up to play Romeo in the play Romeo and Juliet for a company called the Jamie Lloyd Theatre Company. This was announced a few months ago and tickets were sold out immediately because of Tom Holland's name attached. A few days ago, his leading lady, his love interest, his Juliet, was announced. Tom's Juliet is theatre standout Francesca Amawuda Rivers. This casting process probably took months, and Francesca's talent clearly won her the role. Jamie, the director, is clearly very happy with his Juliet. They officially made the announcement a few days ago, and social media have been tearing Francesca to pieces ever since. A lot of trolls have put up the most unflattering pictures of this girl to prove their point. Now, Francesca is a darker skinned black woman, so the insults didn't surprise me. They consisted of saying that Francesca was a man, comparing her to Ice Cube, Chris Rock, wrestler Mark Henry, and even George Floyd. They've compared her to animals. They photoshopped Francesca with shaving products or jungle images. Now, the backlash is absolutely disgusting, but sadly, it's the type of treatment that dark-skinned women get on a regular basis. This reminds me a lot of the Leslie Jones situation when she was announced as one of the leads for the all-female Ghostbuster film back in 2016. The harassment was so bad that she quit Twitter. So this is Leslie's tweet when she quit. From Leslie Jones. I leave Twitter tonight with tears and a very sad heart. All this 'cause I did a movie. You can hate the movie, but the shit I got today... ... wrong. And yes, I know she did return for Game of Thrones after a few days, but it's very telling that a girl like Leslie, a girl that has been made fun of for her skin tone, her height, and her looks for most of her life, was bullied so badly online, mainly by Twitter, that it demolished her mental health and she quit. The same abuse that Leslie got in 2016 is the same abuse that Halle Bailey got as our new Little Mermaid last year. And this is the same type of bullying that Francesca is now going through in 2024. And the year has only just begun. Trolls say that Hollywood has lost their minds for casting her. They need to click away from Sydney Sweeney for one moment and actually do some research, because this Romeo and Juliet production has nothing to do with Hollywood, nothing to do with Disney, nothing to do with Marvel. This is a theatre production in England, in Charles's, William and Kate's Great Britain. And theatre and Hollywood in some cases are completely different in terms of casting, and I'm going to show you why. Point number one, the history of colourblind casting in theatre worldwide. There's a lot of comments about how Hollywood has gone to hell after the casting of Francesca. Hollywood have nothing to do with this. A lot of people are saying that Juliet was always meant to be white, but if you go back to Shakespearean times, women, because of misogyny and patriarchy, were banned from acting. Juliet, back in those days, were played by teenage boys. So if trolls really wanted to stay true to the times, as they say, 18-year-old boys would be cast as Juliet today, and men would be playing Romeo. Not all, but a lot of theatre companies go down the route of colourblind casting, which means that anyone of any race, colour, culture, creed can play any role. So throughout history, across the globe, black and brown people in theatre have been playing historically white characters, white leads. There have been thousands of black Romeos. Adrian Lester, Wilkins Pierre, Toheeb Jimoh, Adetoma Edon, just to name a few. And of course, theatre powerhouse Papa Asedu, who also played Jordan in Femme. Now, I'm going to do shameless promotion right now and stick a Femme commercial in here right now.
these high heels. Well, you can turn around if you're a fucking man.
You're letting them win.
How you want to deal with that?
I think you're a nice looking lad. On your front. I'm a nice guy. If you disrespect me, fuck you up.
I get that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm the same.
Are you now? You're a fucking big man! I best remember not to fuck with you then.
So that was the Femme trailer. If you love thrillers, you will love this film. You'll be on the edge of your seat the entire time. Now, back to the video. Black women have been playing Juliet in theatre since the 1800s, including Condola Rashad, who starred as Juliet alongside Orlando Bloom in 2013. And she's also said that in the beginning she had a few racist tweets because people had a problem with a black Juliet and didn't want to see her alongside Orlando. And Orlando clearly had no problems with that. He seemed like one of her biggest fans. Theatre leads of colour, black and brown Romeos and Juliets are a staple on every level of theatre, from productions in your mother's basement to Broadway. They are a staple. So the people that disagree with the casting should do a little research, because the hiring of a black Juliet shouldn't be a shock to anybody, because it's just another day in the theatre world. Tom Holland may be a Hollywood actor, but this is not a Hollywood movie. This is theatre, sweetheart. There are different rules when it comes to theatre. The second point that I want to talk about is dark-skinned women and the shackles or the confines of conventional attractiveness.
Do you remember the first time you heard the thing that you are referring to as colorism?
The first time I had a little boo friend, actually his grandmother compared me to the color of a paper bag and said that I was too dark chocolate for him and he couldn't date me. And I said, what the hell? I literally was like, what does that mean? And I came home and I talked to my mama T about it. And she said, that's a definition of colorism. And I was like, well, what is, you know what I mean? It was like that moment.
Okay.
It affected me in a way where I was just always uncertain of how I looked. It started to define what beauty was to me.
Okay.
In the entertainment business, it manifested itself in constant comparisons. When it came to like my skin color, I was hearing everything left and right. Well, you know, she's darker, or she's the darkest one in the group, or she's a really chocolate one. I would always hear that.
Was there ever a time where you thought, maybe I should try a bleaching cream?
I never actually thought to myself, I want to do a bleaching cream, as much as it was, I just want to be Mariah Shade. Because that was who I looking up to.
She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You're dancing around in fields with I was like, life looks beautiful.
This is just my opinion, but I think that darker-skinned women have less wiggle room when it comes to their fashion, style, weight, and gender expression. The lighter the woman is, she is given societal permission and grace to experiment with her body, her weight, her fashion, and still be seen as conventionally attractive. For example, Amy Schumer was once known as the hot blonde chick in comedy. Tess Holliday is morbidly obese, but she still turned the fashion world upside down with her beauty. White and lighter skinned women can gain weight and get piercings and shave their hair and still be called pretty. When darker-skinned women do the same thing, they're called ugly compared to animals and told to conform to conventional beauty standards. In my opinion, there's no way that a dark-skinned, morbidly obese woman could take over the fashion industry the way that Tess Holloway did. The doors that are open for white and lighter-skinned women are firmly shut for dark-skinned women unless they are conventionally attractive. It's like in order for them to be accepted or get opportunities, darker women have to be the Rosario Dawson, the Kelly Rowland or Kerry Washington type, and that is slim, breathtakingly beautiful and feminine. Now, women have fought over the years to be seen and recognised for their skills and their talent. And as a kid and throughout the years, we've been told as a society that looks aren't everything. If you have the skills and the passion, apply for this opportunity and you may get it based on your talent and persistence. But however, when Francesca applies for JULIET and gets the role based on her talent and her passion, I've read comments that say, I have no problem with her race, she's just ugly, or I'm a black woman, but I don't think she's pretty enough to be JULIET. Why don't they cast a prettier black woman instead? So that puts Francesca in a catch-22 situation. People say, grab your dreams with both hands and don't let anyone stop you. But when Francesca does that, when she works hard, when she gets the booking of her dreams and she gets to be the lead in a West End show, she gets to be JULIET. Social media are telling her that even if she is talented, they don't care. She's too unattractive to act alongside the, boyish, good-looking hunk that is Tom Holland. It's like Francesca can't win either way. And conventional beauty standards, racism and colorism have a lot to do with the way people are responding to her. As I'm doing this video, I'm realising that conventional beauty standards are a generalisation. So Sydney Sweeney, universally attractive. Henry Cavill, universally attractive. But I'm realising that conventional beauty standards are also subjective, because what's pretty to you may not be pretty to your neighbour, to your friend. Somebody that's handsome to you may not be handsome to your classmate or work colleague. And I honestly believe that the Jamie Lloyd company find Francesca attractive. They wouldn't have hired her if they did not find her physically attractive. That is just my opinion. My third and final point, responses from those at the heart of the matter. So people are talking about Tom Holland's lack of response. And really, does Tom need to respond? And this is going to sound really cold, but no, he doesn't. He doesn't have to respond to anything. Francesca is not his mother. Francesca is not his partner or a close friend. Currently, they're not even working together right now through rehearsals. They're not actually working together right now. So in my opinion, would it be nice if Tom said something in defense? Yes. Is Tom obligated to say anything? No. The same way that all the other co-stars are not obligated to say anything. Tom isn't obligated to say anything, and just because he's the most famous one of the cast, he's not obligated to say anything about this situation. The same way that you shouldn't be obligated to defend a work colleague if they were getting attacked online. We don't even know if Tom has seen the backlash on social media. So as of yet, as of doing this video, Tom hasn't said anything, her colleagues haven't said anything, but Francesca's employers, the Jamie Lloyd Theatre Company, have written an official statement of support for Francesca. So I'll just read that out. Their statement reads, "This must stop. We are working with a remarkable group of artists. We insist that they are free to create work without facing online harassment. We will continue to support and protect everyone in our company at all costs. Any abuse will not be tolerated and will be reported. Bullying and harassment have no place online, in our industry, or in our wider communities." Guys, I've got to agree with the Jamie Lloyd Company's statement. This will be Francesca's West End debut, and people should be praising her to the skies and applauding this huge achievement. Auditioning and getting accepted into West End theatre is no joke. It's like getting accepted into Broadway. Francesca is proving that she's competent and that she's an elite actress, and that achievement deserves a standing ovation within itself. Please, if you're watching, please give Francesca the respect and support that she deserves, because this should really be an amazing, fantastic time for her right now, and social media do not have the right to ruin this for her and drive her offline like they did with Leslie. It's now been revealed that this production of Romeo and Juliet is so popular that it's going to Broadway. It's going to the US. So Americans will be able to see Tom and Francesca in the flesh. I hope that everybody that books a ticket loves the show. Okay guys, that's the end of the video. If you got this far, thank you for let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.